Hey, coin guy, look at you. Sleepy, huh?
It's been a long day.
I'm here to wake you up with this box. I got some stuff, man. I want to show you some of my collection, if that's okay with you.
Sure,
And
sure.
maybe talk about some stuff going on.
Okay.
Well, hello, everybody. I seek to educate and entertain through my journey of collecting coins and stacking precious metals. I encourage you to subscribe, and please stay with me on this journey. I am Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. These are some of my favorite pieces that I have. But what's going on with you?
It was a very busy day. People are fearful. I ran into the guy at the bank who was getting a money order drawn, and the bank president came over to the girl at the teller, and they wanted X amount of money, and she said, "Who to make it out to?" And he says, "Make it out to the guy standing right there."
The guy in blue.
They made it out to me.
Now, if anybody doesn't know who Coin Guy is, he is a coin shop owner, right, guy?
Yep,
Is that
own
correct?
the building too.
Rare coin dealer in Spring Hill, Florida. Owns the building. There's his number if you were curious. And Guy, let's put this on YouTube. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. That's
All right.
absolutely good.
Guy, listen. You have gold in your case, which is surprising. Sometimes you don't have gold in here. I'm going to buy some of that gold, I think, and just shove it right into my gas tank.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what it seems like it goes in there right now.
That's just about where it goes. Well, a person sold me this about an hour ago because she just can't keep up with the bills, she said.
This is
Just
a 1
can't
ounce?
keep it. Yep, it's a 1 ounce gold eagle.
And so she needs this to...
She needed money to get. She was in about 3 weeks ago. And I guess you're running, she sees what's coming. I guess, maybe a car payment has come in, or the house insurance. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy stuff about car insurance. So who knows what is attributing to it. But she's running short. And people are running short, and they're running scared. The other guy who bought, he doesn't trust banks. He took money out. He wanted to get rid of cash. He wanted it in gold and silver. And I had no problem with that. He took what I had. I picked up more since. But it's the cycle, and it's a good thing. But that's where the world is, and that's the fear that's running out there.
One of the comments I get is people say, like, oh, if they're selling right now, they're not prepared. They're not really stacking. They're not doing it the right way. But people stack for different reasons. Insurance purposes, like you just said.
Or retirement.
Or being your own bank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, these people, most of the people who sell me gold, I bought a bunch of gold today from a collection I'll show you that came out of Maine. This is a woman who just accumulated it. She wasn't a stacker. This woman who sold me that isn't a stacker. They basically, when they were flush, they bought gold, and now they've come into times when you have to cash it in. And I'll be honest with you, she probably bought that in 09, 9 or 10 she bought it. She probably didn't pay $1,000. She got 85% income on her money, 85% interest. You ain't getting that in the bank anymore.
No.
Not anymore. Well, who knows where mortgage rates are going, but as I've said before, I've seen, I remember when I sold my first house, the people who bought it back in 85, 13% mortgage they took on their house. 13% was the mortgage they were paying to buy my house. I mean, huge. And the people across the street, I wound up moving next door to them. They moved in 81. They bought a house, they borrowed $25,000, 17% mortgage. Can you imagine? It's like shysters.
That's
Or
crazy.
Shylocks.
Crazy.
I mean, my God, you're paying $4,500, $4,700 in interest on $25,000 a year?
Wild.
Wow.
Wild times. Hey, speaking of houses, and all the people that, I know probably not going to be able to see them right now, but that's the road right there. People are just going crazy on this road and all these roads in Florida here. My house went up over 3 times its value in just a few years. Mostly these last couple years.
Well, I agree with you completely.
Over 3 times.
I'm in this building 8 years now. Granted, I bought it at foreclosure, but it's worth about 4 times what I paid for it.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah, it's commercial property. It's a good thing.
One of the best investments you probably ever made, huh?
Yeah, well, I've been fortunate. I've made a number of good investments, but the key to a good investment is to know when to get out of it too.
What is that saying? You got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
Yep, and know when to walk away, and know when to run. And But yeah, that's true. But I ain't going anywhere, so this is where I stay.
Speaking of running, man, people are running away from like everything right now. I mean, gold, silver came down pretty good. Not terribly, but pretty good. Stock market's been dumping. Cryptos has been dumping.
As we've said before, I'm apprehensive of what's coming. I think it's going to get worse before it's going to get better. I'm expecting them to maybe have an emergency, session for the interest rates. I think you're going to see another half a point. They're not going to wait until July. I think they're going to raise a half next month. I think they're going to have an early session. Yeah. They're predicting out there 2%. What are you going to do when mortgage rates are 7%? Now, to me, that doesn't scare me. I saw that number most of my life. I mean, 7, 8%. I've seen the extremes in the early 80s, but, through the 90s and the 2000s, you saw routinely 7, 8, 9%. The numbers you had now have been a gift, and the wealthy jumped all over it. People borrowed money just because they could borrow it.
Sure. Because
it's basically for free. But it's going to affect a lot of this building. I hope those people locked in on what they're going to get, locked in on their mortgages.
Hopefully.
Or they're getting these houses that are being built. The cost of material is getting incredible.
You said wood went up the last video we did, right?
Yeah, and then the guy's telling me about the price of block and concrete. Forget wood, he says. At least you can get it, because you can't get the block. They don't make it fast enough.
That's ridiculous.
You
better tile, all that stuff's probably hard to get right now.
Everything they say is crazy.
I saw these over here. What do you got going on? What are those from?
I'll show you that.
This
is a collection I bought. I'm behind. I just can't catch up in the last couple of days.
Oh, this?
No, this is something else I'll show you.
Oh, you got
something. You brought your box. I brought mine.
Well, I did talk to Guy. I said, Guy, I have a few coins I want to show you if you have a few coins you'd like to show me. So it's a little show and tell on this episode. These are pretty. Unfortunately, copper is so hard to like pick up on the camera because it's like a darker color, but these are cool. That right there is really cool.
Yeah, this one's nice.
I like that.
The 98 is pretty good, but the 98 has one problem. It has a big scratch right down it. It's got a couple of marks in the back, but the price, it would be 800, but I still have room. We can talk. But it's a nice anything 1700s.
Oh, I tell you what, it's a drop off. As soon as it's 1800, it's whatever price. When it goes to 1700, anything, boom, that price is way up there.
There's some dates you just can't buy. This is a 98. Try and buy a 99. See, even a net fine in 99. Good God, I wouldn't be surprised that a fine in a 99 is $10,000.
These are awesome coins.
99 is one of the keys to large pennies. 99 and I believe the 4.
It's funny because that coin right there, even though it's in that kind of condition, I mean, 1700s, man, they just go for so much money. You're talking it survived a lot of time right there.
99.
How
One's
much?
12 and one is 20,000.
Where am I looking?
Right on this line right here. It starts at this.
At the bottom there? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's for AGs.
What's 100,
here we go.
100,000? Wild, huh?
That's for fines.
If I had just a few of those, I'd be all right.
You'd be pretty good. You'd be in high cotton, as they say.
Right. Walking in high cotton. What does that mean, walking in high cotton?
I mean, I used to work with an old cook. He was a southern. Well, his family came from the South. He lived in Amityville. And it was a term he always used. He was African American, and he always had terms I'd never heard before. But I learned a lot from him, and he would talk like that. And he started working with me when he was 60 years old. Started. He was a retired postal worker, but he was always a cook, and he worked at this hospital back in the 30s. He used to peel potatoes on the porch there. His mother worked there in the 20s. And I remember that was one of his expressions. I guess it's a southern term, but walking in high cotton, I guess, means you're going to have a great crop and it's going to be a good year.
Yeah.
And that's what he used to say, Mr. Collins. Yeah, walking in high cotton.
Now we're walking in high gasoline, but it's not a good year.
God, I don't know. We've talked about that before. I don't know where it's all going. What do you got to show me?
Oh, you just want me to go ahead and open the box, huh?
Yeah, show me the box.
Okay, again, I'm a little nervous right here. I don't know if it's going to be up to your standards, you know what I mean? This is just some of my pieces that I really like to look at, you know what I mean? More often than others, I guess. And let me move it around here for you. And my little gun box, no big deal. But as you want to take them out, I mean, you take a look at them.
1928 SAU.
So you know why that's a big deal to me? That's just a, it's not that expensive of a coin, maybe like what, $70 or so.
Okay.
That's just a quarter.
Probably more than that.
You think so?
Yeah.
Maybe it's gone up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a standing Liberty quarter, and I went from shop to shop and shop. I actually got that at a pawn shop, and I would go into the pawn shops and say like, "Hey, do you have any old silver or anything?" The guy goes to the back in the safe, throws a pile of coins onto his desk like this. They're all like, worn out dates. You can't see anything, slicks. And then this guy was sitting in there, just by itself, not even graded. And I'm like, man, how cool is that? So I think at the time I bought that for $3.
Yeah, that tells you why you don't sell your stuff to a pawn shop. I mean, that's, what their background is.
So that just has like a little sentimental value to me. And I think at the time I brought my kid in there and she's just standing next to me and stuff while I'm going through this treasure, really. It's a treasure hunt.
Pretty boat.
What's
Commemorative.
this?
Hudson.
The Hudson Commemorative.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that. I think it's just a unique looking coin too.
Yeah, the commems are really pretty.
I'll show this off. I've showed this off on my channel before. I mean, it's got like a dude sitting on like a whale.
MS-66.
And it's got a boat on it, which, it sells it for me.
This is a nice saint.
MS-66. When I bought this, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, that looks like a modern eagle. It just looks so good. This image right here.
Yep.
The obverse just looks fantastic. I like that. You want to buy that?
That's a pretty. I think my son just bought a whole bunch of saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 40 of them.
Probably my favorite coin out of all the different types. St. Gaudens.
I like the saint. It reminds me a lot of the Walking Liberty half. I mean, it's almost the same kind of an image, but more front on. The beautiful coin.
Yeah. I love that one.
Ah.
What's that one? I can't remember.
A Lafayette dollar.
Ah, Lafayette. I thought this was such a cool coin too. The first commemorative dollar, right?
Yep.
Cool coin.
I remember my son was asking me, "Did you ever get a Isabella Quarter?" I have never gotten an Isabella Quarter.
Not through the front door.
Never got one. I've gotten only one Lafayette dollar, and he gave me Christmas. For Christmas, he got a Lafayette. He got an Isabella Quarter in. He got it certified. Came back cleaned, but it was really a nice piece. He gave it to me for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I never had one. I think he's counting on getting it back, but I'm going to make it. Hopefully, it takes 20 years for him to get it back.
I imagine these go up in price here shortly.
Yeah. They are very rare. You don't see them. Like I said, the Lafayette, the Isabella Quarters, you just don't see.
Yeah.
That's a nice piece.
Huh?
Did you get this from me?
No, I didn't get that from you. I got that from somebody online.
Okay.
That's just a big kilo Libertad.
Big silver.
Ah,
coin.
you want to show the back first, huh? Isn't that weird that they do the back is front and front is back? I mean, for what we would think,
I don't know. I'm surprised that the League of Decency allows this coin to even come out.
Oh, yeah, there's boobies on it. There is boobies. But I mean, like, boobies are a thing that feeds kids. I mean, really, at the end of the day, right?
Let's not bring up the formula.
Oh, too much? Oh, formula shortages. Yikes.
What another crazy.
What do you think? Is my collection cool enough for you?
It's cool. It is cool.
Close this. All right, now show me your cool collection. You want to move this out of the way?
This is just some bits and pieces.
Hold on one sec. Coming back.
Shipwreck coin.
Oh, jeez. I'm falling in love already. Wow. Look at this. Can I touch your collection?
Sure. Bust $5.
Man. Okay, you want to sell that?
No.
He's like, no way.
No.
That is pretty.
I bought that a dozen years ago.
I have to buy one of these, man. I have to have the whole set, or I'm going to try. There's a few I'm not going to be able to get, like the Stella, not probably happening.
I paid under 10 for this. And it goes for about, I don't know, about 13 now, I think.
Jeez.
But it's just a cool coin, and I didn't have any bus gold. You can't buy the 10s, and it's very hard to buy anything in the 1700s.
So
This is-
over 10,000 for this one coin.
Oh, yeah, in that grade? Yes.
I made a poll on my channel asking people if they had any coins, like one coin worth 10,000 or more. And most people, a heavy majority, no, they don't. A collection, yes, but not one coin worth that much. But that's what it looks like.
That's a cool coin. This shipwreck was in 1865.
Wow. Shipwreck effect. And what is the effect? Just kind of like the obverse there?
Shipwreck effect is usually like a sandblasting look. It's the wave action will etch into the coin.
Confederate States issue. That's a nice one. And this is personal stuff, man. We're not selling this, right? None of this.
Not at this time, no.
That's fantastic.
And there's one of the legendary coins. 36 proof.
The proof. You keep talking about that's like one of your favorite coins.
Yeah, I like proof. Look at this one.
Hold on, let me see this one first. Let me stand by. One at a time here. That's pretty. Probably, man, St. Gaudens and then Walking Liberty. I mean, they're close for my favorites.
I bought this a long time ago. Yeah, December of 90. I bought this over 30 years ago.
That's so cool that you keep your stickers on there, because I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the price I paid.
Rubenstein's.
Yeah.
I paid $850 for this.
At the time.
In 1990. Now, this is only a 63. You get this up in a 5 and stuff, and these are quite a few $1,000s.
Really? It's a pretty
Well,
coin.
they only had a mintage of what? 3,600? Somebody will check me out, but its mintage was under 4,000 in proof for a very popular series.
That's awesome. Oh, another proof.
But this is a series of, look at the colors. This is a 66, but it's one side, but look at those colors. And look at the holder. That holder's from the early 90s, I would guess.
Old holder.
Thick holder. Fatty.
The fatty holders, yeah. Somebody had showed me, actually at the coin show that we went to, that I guess the originals didn't have that line right there from NGC. And now
And
they
I've
have it for the
had
line.
them, and I found that those holders are worth
just
more
like
money
that.
than the coins in them.
It's interesting. People literally will buy holders, and rather
It's
than
funny,
coins.
you got 3 people here. I bought this off of a guy named Roy Roush. I bought this 27 years ago. This I bought off of Mark. I bought that 12 years ago, and this I bought off of Rubenstein. These are 3 coin dealers I did a lot of business with over the decades.
You know, these coins now, you have the names of the people. It's part of the story. It's part of the adventure
absolutely.
these coins have been on. And that's part of the
Exactly.
allure of a coin dealer is what hands have these coins touched.
Yeah. Now look at these colors. Here's my autumn tree for Connecticut. Look at those colors.
That is cool. Very rainbowy. Did you artificially tone these guys?
That's the way I got them. Just the way I got them.
They
It's
are
a
pretty.
steel penny with pretty colors.
You never see steel pennies with colors.
That's why you take it and put it aside.
That's wild.
Yeah. And these are not for sale. This was in my own. I was looking for some stuff to bring in, and I pulled that out this morning in a hurry.
Oh, it's a rainbow proof. Again, I've never seen like proof Washingtons. I always see just, very beautiful, and I don't ever see them colorized like that. Got that nice rainbow toning. That's awesome.
Well, you get these coins. Where have they been sitting? What have they been exposed to? And some of them have been sitting in jars for half a century, or more, or in a collection. I mean, I remember a person selling me a bunch of foreign coins about a year ago, and they came in with one of the old cabinet cases where coin collectors 100 years ago, 120 years ago, right up until even up to World War I, World War II, would put their coins on shelves like this, in drawers that came out of a cabinet. And you would you would pull out the drawer, and out would come a tray like this. and it would sometimes be divided into little slots, and you would have these coins sitting in their little cubicles. And the short would be no thicker than this. You know, they were 3/4 of an inch thick. And I've seen those cabinets. And that's when sometimes you'd hear, oh, it has cabinetware. You know, I've seen it. I had a gold piece come in here, a $5. It was an '08. I'm kind of annoyed I didn't get it. But this is the last year of the bust right. The other one was a bust left. It was an '08. This was the last year of this type. That was the first year of the new type. And it had what I call cabinetware, because it had wear right down the middle and the front, but the rest of the coin was uncirculated. Uh-huh. It was beautiful, because obviously it was laying on his face, and every time a beer truck went by, or you think a lot of these came out of big cities,
yeah,
and they're on cobblestones or whatever, and the whole buildings would vibrate. And if this stuff came out of San Francisco, it's got 22 earthquakes a day or whatever. That little movement, even on like felt like this, multiply it thousands and thousands of times, and you get what they call cabinetware. It actually gave a friction that took off something. I don't really find it. It's funny, when you're the little guy sending in something, they'll call it choice AU. But when it's a wealthy coin, it'll be considered, or a wealthy person, they'll send it through and call it an UNC cabinetware.
Yeah.
It's not legitimate wear, but you know, you're the little guy, so it
depends on where the money is, doesn't it?
That's where the money is. Like if you're wealthy and a little crazy, you're eccentric. If you're poor, you're crazy.
Yeah.
So
that's cool. Oh, what's the Pegasus over there?
I had one of my own. I showed you the other one I had picked up last time.
The graded one, right?
Yeah, the graded one, and then I kept that.
Oh, okay.
And then I found this one. I thought I had another one, and I found one. This one doesn't have the owl. There's Athena on the back. There's a different figure in the corner.
Oh, that's a pretty one too.
Yeah, it's certainly at least a VF. The other one is Spegtacular.
Spegtacular.
And because I have...
I'm going to look at this one. Is that okay?
Yeah, please. I got to get a price for it yet, but because I have... You know, I wonder sometimes.
Oops. Dude's got a big head.
Big helmet on her. This is Athena.
Oh,
that's a girl.
Whoops. Listen, it's 2022. I don't know anymore.
See, now, I'm looking at this helmet. Wow. This helmet is cooler. Just look at the details. A different style. Yeah, this has the owl, but it's a totally more detail in the helmet and stuff.
Sure, yeah.
And, you know, you're saying that's XF. This is VF. VF Plus.
Maybe.
You know, maybe I'm underrating it. No, this has a little more definition when you look at the feathers. But if this is $2,000, isn't that worth $1,000?
Maybe.
Maybe.
What do they say? Condition is everything.
Yeah, and trying to get the coin. You know.
That's cool. If you ever want to sell that graded one, guy, right there.
Yeah, okay.
You know where to go, man. You got a buyer in me.
Like I was also saying, you don't know where these coins have been and how long they've been sitting around. Now, I bought a collection earlier today. Took me an hour and a half to buy it, which doesn't bother me. You know, right after the one person came in who bought a lot of stuff, this other person came in carrying a bunch of stuff. We went into the separate office we have, and we started going through the stuff. They came from Maine. The grandmother lived in Maine most of her life, passed away. And she used to sell apples on the docks in Maine, between Canada and Maine. And she sell apples for a nickel a piece during the war. And she went on to open many businesses and been a very good businessman, as the family was relating to me.
So an apple for a nickel.
Nickel for an apple.
Okay.
And she just put away a lot of coins. She didn't need them at a certain point. There was some silver, but not a lot of silver. But what was interesting was this stuff. Now, I haven't had a chance to look through it yet.
So this is the first.
Yeah.
Here on the camera.
I haven't opened it yet. I counted it. I assumed that these are full rolls. Now, these would be...
It looks like a...
These are all barbers. Now, look at this old I mean, this is the old wrappers. This is 30, 40 years ago at least.
Jeez, huh? Just the wrapper's kind of neat, isn't it?
Yeah. Now, I remember a story one time of somebody who passed away, and they bought all the nickels, and when they opened up a roll of nickels, in the middle were a whole bunch of $5 gold pieces, because it was a person, and that's where they hid their gold.
Oh, man.
Do we feel lucky?
Oh, come on. No whammies. You got to call them back if there's a bunch of gold in there.
Call who?
You call who?
I mean, I give them the money they ran.
Yeah.
But you never know. So I got to go through all that. And then there was all this. Look at all these Barber dimes.
I'm still stunned
That's
by
out of the same
by
thing.
the V-nickels
That's the
over
most V-nickels I ever bought at one time. I forgot how many. There's over 1,000 there.
Barber dimes, what are we looking for key date-wise?
The 1895 ONS and the 1896 ONS. And, of course, the 94S. But there's only, legend is there's only about less than 20 known.
What if it's in
That's
there?
well, that coin to be about 350,000. Well, let's just hope somebody needed an apple instead of some ice cream, and they used a 94S dime. Wouldn't that be? That'd make my day.
Wow.
That'll make my day.
So, when we're looking at this pile right here of V-nickels, basically every single one of those is an apple.
Exactly. That's exactly
And
what
two
it was.
apples right here.
And that's probably how it broke down when they were using them. You're talking the 1940s, late 30s. Now, these coins would have been very much worn in those days. You know, these dimes would have circulated right through World War II. I mean, a dime was a lot of money.
Yeah.
I don't know, how much is one apple now? $2?
Well, yeah, probably. You get a bushel for, what, a bag of apples for what? 6,
She
8,
was
10
telling
bucks?
me, the woman was telling me when she was a kid, because her mother taught her to work when she was young, they used to pick potatoes. And they would get a barrel, and I'm talking a 50-gallon barrel. They would get 50 cents for a barrel of potatoes to pick it.
Jeez.
50 cents.
50 cents for a barrel.
A barrel of potatoes.
Golly. That's a long job, too.
I wouldn't want to be a guy picking that barrel up either.
First of all, you got to dig in the dirt for potatoes.
Yeah, well, there were a bunch of little kids in the dirt. Yeah, there are sharecroppers in this country now. But, you know, back in those days, and we're talking probably in the 30s and the 40s, people worked to make money, to eat. And you had to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't just given to you when you just came and stumbled across a border.
You didn't ask for a handout, huh?
No, there was no handouts. You had to do what you had to do.
You had to work.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. What a collection, huh? From
That's
Maine,
fun
you said.
stuff. Yes,
From Maine.
Maine.
You think it's true that, what they say, the rain in Maine stays mainly on the plains?
Isn't that the rain in Spain?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Spain, not Maine. And another thing, I mentioned in the last video about the Hawaii note.
Oh, boy.
The $50 Hawaii. I misspoke.
We had Chester
It
the
was a
corrector on
20.
there?
I had a couple of know-it-alls, or people who knew I made a mistake, and they pointed it out, and that's okay. I misspoke. You know, it was probably a $50 national. I knew it was a Hawaiian 50, and I almost thought it was that, but then I looked, and you're right, it couldn't have been Hawaiian.
God, you say you're not perfect?
No, I'm not perfect.
That's wild.
But sometimes I make a little mistake here and there.
Everybody does. Everybody does.
It's, you know,
I make mistakes all the time. I'm not special. That's a very cool collection.
well,
That was heavy, man.
This thing, yeah.
Look at this. You got a bunch of them in there still wrapped.
Yeah, there were rolls and rolls.
Oh, man.
You know, I took it on faith that they were $2 rolls, and I sell these things for 50 cents each. That's what you know, in bulk.
Which is a good price, because I've seen like 75 cents a piece for really like nasty ones.
Well, it depends where you go. You go to some of these flea markets and they're getting $1.25.
Yeah.
You know, they can get stupid money for this stuff.
Sure.
And who knows what we can find in here. But that's stuff that'll
Look how heavy this thing is.
keep me going. This has got to be, this probably, let's see.
Look at that. Your veins are popping out.
This is going to be 10 pounds of nickels.
Whew. Hey, man, just the price of nickels has been going up. You might as well just keep it for nickel value.
12 pounds.
12 pounds. That's crazy. That's a workout, huh? You get a sweat going on and everything.
My upper shoulders. I'm getting to be old man.
That's cool. Cool stuff comes into your shop, huh?
Well, every day's an adventure. Now, I've seen this before, and I know I've had some of these kinds of coins where I could, I could compare to these. There are people who collect the lowest graded coin.
The PO1.
Yep.
I think it's funny to call it PO1 because it reminds me of piece of.
But they go for stupid money. They'll go for hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
sometimes those will go for
think
more
I've
than
seen that.
well-graded ones.
I've had dollars that bad. I've had people buy them off of me because they want the culls, because they just want, just to have gotten it. $480.
It's wild. Well,
especially in the seated, because they got used so much for so long, and I've seen them that kind of worn. Oh, definitely.
I was speaking to you off camera. I saw this Fujio sent. It was a PO1, and they wanted a $150 for it. And I was like, "Oh, please, let me get that." And then it was sold out
price.
like that. It sold out quick.
It's like when you look, if you could ever get your hands on a 1793 chain cent, less than 150 known. Like I said, I've seen one sell that had 2 holes in it. 2 holes drilled through it. Obviously, it was used as a button, and it went for $900.
With 2 holes.
And it was a pour with 2 holes drilled in it.
Yeah. Well, what a rare coin, huh?
But you can't find them.
150 made, you said?
150.
So what actually is still out there, right?
Now, how many were made? How many thought to exist?
Ah, I see.
About 150.
Oh, okay.
I don't trust any of the numbers for, in those days. I just, it's like, I forgot what the exact statistic is for silver dollars. And they tell you, oh, they only made 1.3 billion. And then they had the act of 18 of
the Pittman Act?
Pittman Act.
Yeah.
And they melted 400 million or 300 million or whatever it was. And I don't believe that. It's like anything else. It's almost like if you believe that Twitter has this many million and then there were that many bots. Who is there in the mint who really counted them?
Right.
The machine's running. The guy went to get a cup of coffee. He came back. Where did I leave off?
Sure.
And the machine's running for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I have seen so many silver dollars. I have seen so many at shows. I am sure that any major show can count millions of silver dollars in the room.
That's one of the biggest things you see Morgan dollars in graded slabs just all over when you go to shows.
Now, I very rarely buy a collection, and I bought quite a few collections this year already. I think today I bought 2 collections. That was the big one. That was a few thousand. I bought another one for $240. They all have silver dollars. You never not see a silver dollar. I bought some more off a woman. She kept her silver dollars. But there's always silver dollars in every collection.
I'd argue with, United States collectors, that's one of the most popular coins to collect, period.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if you had, now, this woman with the stuff I bought, there were only, I think, 5 silver, they actually are in here. They'd be on top in here. There were like 5 silver dollars. And a ton of nickels and dimes, as you can see.
What goes in here, guys? It's like the coal
This
ones?
is the bulk, no, not coal. This would be your nickels with 2 dates, 2-3 dates, but not full dates. Full date Buffalo nickels, less than full date. And then I keep separate, I keep the ones with no dates. This is your barber coinage, dimes, quarters, and halves, which are going to accept a lot more dimes when I'm done with that. B nickels, like you see over there. And then when I get bags of 100, I put them aside. And I get calls from them. And these are Indian head pennies, your silver dollars, your piece. And these have been very popular with the dealers. They usually buy me out. The piece and the Morgan here.
You're probably selling too cheap.
Well, the idea to me is to move them too. I don't want to be the guy with the biggest inventory in town.
Yeah.
Or in the state, because that means I'm not doing my job. My idea is to move them. I feel if I make a decent enough profit, that's good enough for me.
One thing I'll always say about you, Guy, and people can accuse me of, oh, he's just trying to advertise for Coin Guy, whatever the case may be. Your prices are super reasonable, and you're easy to work with. It's nice to see that you go into a shop here, like a coin shop, and you can get good prices. Some places you go and you're just like, what the heck are they doing with these prices? They see the price on the sheet, and then they raise it by whatever amount,
That's half the problem, but then you got to watch for the old dealers, and I know a couple still, that they're always off by a grade or more. I mean, their AG is a good, they're good as a VG. So that could cost you a lot more than just the fact that you're paying too much money.
Right.
They also overgrade. You got to get the grading down. You know, I know coin grading is subjective, but a good is a good usually. You know, you run into
Coin grading is subjective.
that grading when you get into right over here.
You got one there too. You got them all over the place. You got one here. You got one there. Don't you have one over here somewhere? Yeah, over there. Coin grading is subjective. Yeah, this new camera can really do some zooming. I tell you what. Whoa.
Hey, you got a new device.
I got everything. I'm trying to get high
I
tech
just don't
here.
let those people were talking. God bless America, in case he divides us up.
Oh,
He
jeez.
filmed a long video and he broke it into two, and the last one that came out didn't have the God bless America in there because that was the middle of the video. Sorry.
More than one video. Listen, guy, when you die, when I die, I got to explain myself not to a man, but to God.
Okay,
And
fair enough.
I'm confident in myself that I'm going to at least tell God, hey, I've always believed in you. You know what I mean? Like, I have no problem with that. Actually, Guy, did you know one special thing about my logo? Can I move this?
Sure.
You know that I always put God in every logo that I've ever made?
Okay.
Did you peek at that?
Excellent.
Yeah, even the new logo. Always says
Do I
God
have
there.
a new one?
You better have it. You should have it more than anybody else.
This?
Is it on your safe? Don't tell me you don't have a new logo.
Is that this one?
No, that's the original. I'll get you a new one. I'll make sure I get you a couple.
What am I? What?
I know, I'm sorry. I thought you had it. I thought I always give you my stuff.
I know.
I got you a couple of my silver pieces over here that I made.
I keep getting asked about those. I won't sell those.
Those are yours, Guy. You keep them.
What was the other thing
Or
I
sell
thought
them. I mean, it's yours to do whatever you want. I'm not going to control you.
Here was a little story about the Civil War tokens and what messages were on there. Some of them speak for end slavery, things like that are self-explanatory.
Civil War token has a political message. Well, the not the Civil War tokens, but what's the other ones? The
Hard time?
the hard time tokens. Those were just about all political based, weren't they?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's when Andrew Jackson wanted to tariff. Could you imagine that? Tariffs on all the goods coming into America from Europe. Asia wasn't a problem, it was Europe. And he wanted tariffs, but all the big money people, well, that nickel came out of them, and they didn't like the idea of it. And he wanted to use that money to get, now wait for it, could you imagine he wanted to balance the budget? Holy cow.
Try to make it right.
Well, he said a tariff isn't unreasonable. So he was asking for tariffs on, you took cotton over there and then you brought it back here and it came in, into spun goods and stuff. And he wanted a tariff. He wanted a tax on it. Not unreasonable. And the big boys came after him hard. That was, very similar to what happened with Trump on many things, but that was pretty dirty dealings in those days. They actually made coins about it.
Tell you what, I'm not necessarily a fan of the guy that we got in there right now, but I don't see that him or anybody thereafter is ever going to fix the national debt.
No, I think it's too out of, it's gotten so ballooned, and a lot of that started with the two presidents before. You had Obama doubled it. He put $8 trillion on it. COVID exploded this one, and then what you got now? I mean, it's just out of hand. And then why do you think we have the problems you have now? Money is just getting printed. I don't know. I was talking to a gentleman. It's kind of scary. And this guy was talking to me, and he has money. His family has money. They have a lot of land that they put under agriculture. And in November, they decided not to plant this year. They don't need to make money. They have big enough trust. But he says, I'm not going to plant 5,000 or 10,000 acres between wheat, corn, soy, and potatoes. Because he saw what was coming with fertilizer and everything. He told me, prepare for crazy times.
Really?
October, September, you said. Prepare for crazy.
Like food shortages.
Yes. And
Man, I don't need any more crazy times.
he said, but they're losing money to plant.
Yeah.
The fertilizer and all. But then again, I'm not a farmer, and I don't pretend to be. Did they import fertilizer from Ukraine in the 1880s and the 1930s? What did we use for fertilizer then?
I don't know.
Or in the 1940s and 50s? I don't know.
You know, it's interesting. So I used to be a fertilizer guy. That was my job before what I have now. And I tell you what, after doing that job and messing with all those like man-made fertilizers, I went purely organic on my own. Coffee grounds, you know, stuff from the, you know, excess that you didn't eat or whatever, like the, you know, rinds and stuff of apples, and then put them in your compost. Yeah, eggshells. That stuff works way better than any commercial fertilizer.
I remember hearing about the eggs 50 years ago, when I got my first job working at A&S. The girl there was an old country girl, Jean, and she would take home the coffee grind, not all of it because we were a pretty busy kitchen, but when it was that time of the year for planting, she would take home the coffee grinds and the eggshells. And I'm a city kid, so what the heck? And she explained that's what we use for fertilizer.
Yeah.
That's what country people used to use for fertilizer.
Animal poop is great. Everybody, you know.
Well, I always thought that was fertilizer, you know.
That's what you use.
That's what I thought it was about, but I guess I'm wrong. But he said there's going to be some crazy times coming.
You ever put Milorganite down on your yard? You ever heard of that stuff? Milorganite?
No.
That's human waste. And they sell it at Home Depot and Lowe's in bags.
Did they really?
Yeah. It's raw sewage, and they just, you know, make it into a fertilizer.
I don't think I want to know that.
When I used to spread that stuff, I hated the smell of that stuff. It didn't smell like poop. It just has a really weird smell to it. And I was like always double gloving it. I'm like, this is gross, man.
And what do they mix it with, sulfur? And
I don't know. I don't know all the details on that part, but
you see,
that's gross.
In a way, I don't find a problem with that because I thought we were using that for fertilizer for the last 7,000 years. So, you know, but anyway, obviously there isn't enough fertilizer, and this guy saw it coming. And those people who know their business and look ahead, they know when it wasn't worth it to plant.
Yeah.
You know, as I said, and like I said before, this affects those people with that less than 40,000 or so, or even 50,000. Depends what you make and how much you spend. You know, I'm watching these prices go up every day. I go to the store. It's like, holy cow.
It's not so.
It's just crazy.
It is not
I mean,
so.
my son has a restaurant, and he was telling me like chicken breast is $4.20 a pound. He said he goes to one of the discount store, Oldies or one of those, and he can buy up to 2 packages for $2.15 a pound. But that's more of a get the people in special. But he uses it every time he goes, because if that's an extra 7 or 8 pounds that you buy at half the price, you make that much more later.
Yeah.
And that's good business. You got to find the angles. They were saying today, what, an order of chicken wings was $34. I was listening to the news this morning.
Well, they talked about a chicken wing shortage not too long ago, which affects me greatly. I tell you what, man, that's one of my favorite things, chicken wings.
I like chicken. I could eat chicken 3 times a week. Wouldn't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, some of it. I mean, I'm a wing guy.
Okay. I like those. We had chicken today because we were so busy working, and I had my shot today, so I've got to eat or it's going to affect me later. So Nathan went out and got us some fried chicken, and I gobbled down a couple of pieces, and I'm good. I'm set.
You got your shot, huh? Your third one?
No, this is my Trulicity.
Oh, something different.
My diabetes
Oh,
shot I have to
okay.
take every 7
I got
days.
personal there. Sorry.
That's no problem.
A little HIPAA violation.
Not a problem. There's a lot of diabetics, so you know exactly.
The
what
other
I'm
shots,
talking about.
oddly enough, because I happen to be in the know now, just so you know, it's coming back a little bit. That stuff that was going
the
on.
wife's warning me already.
Yeah, it's coming back.
Meanwhile, she wants to. I'm thinking I want to go see like Downton Abbey this weekend.
I see it
I haven't been
firsthand.
in a movie in 3 years.
No?
I haven't been in movies since. Well, we had COVID for the last 2.5.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. So I like Downton Abbey, so I'm going to go see the new one. My sister I was talking to yesterday was her wedding anniversary, and she said they've gone. They're both retired now, and they went to the movies and they saw a couple. They saw this one, Vikings. They said it was bloody, but it was very gritty and it was entertaining on a big screen.
A man flick.
Well, that's what she watched. And then she watched something else. I don't remember what it was. That's my COVID brain. I don't
Listen, if
remember.
it comes back to you, get with us. We'll make another movie.
Yeah.
How about that? I'm calling them movies now because they're long.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, political messages on coins. You know, I get people all the time saying, hey, you got to stop being political on the coin guy videos. But aren't coins and precious metals both based around politics? I mean, the pricing of metals.
Oh, definitely.
And coins are made because of politics.
Well,
It takes an act of Congress half the time to make, certain coinage out there.
here's what happens when you've got a bad government. or no confidence in your government, you have hyperinflation. You know, Zimbabwe, Germany in the early 20s. You see that all the time.
Yeah.
You got to have a strong government. We are the world currency. That protects us to a certain degree. Woe unto us. There's plenty of forces out there trying to stop that. And we have to, you know, I like the idea that he's using this act as far as getting us making microchips and making the baby formula.
Over here.
Yeah. Why didn't we do this at the beginning of the year?
Yeah.
You know, what are you going to do about getting oil in this country? Why don't you just let everybody start drilling again? But you're holding back. So we're our own worst enemies and things like that.
You know what I saw? And forgive me if you've seen something else, and you know, correct me if I'm wrong. I saw, you know, COVID come through real hard, right? Affect a lot of businesses, places, people. And then at the very time, we had this knee-jerk reaction of how to deal with it, how to fix it. Then COVID started coming down, okay? Started to kind of relax a little bit. People got easy, right? They didn't try to adjust anything to say, hey, that's going to happen again or that could happen again, and try to fix those problems ahead of time.
Don't they believe now that it's endemic? It's going to always be there. There's going to be another variant.
That's what I heard.
Yeah, it's going to be another variant. There's always another flu.
Yeah.
It's going to be another variant.
Yep.
Take a boost if you feel comfortable with it, but you can't shut down the schools every time.
No.
Look at what's happened to the children. This is what I said in the beginning. You cannot shut away children for 2 years. And damn those people who use this for political, whether it's the unions or whoever. Shame on them. Children are so, what is the stats in Baltimore? There's not in the 5 top high schools, there's not a single child that can read on grade point or do math on grade point.
Because of what happened.
They just have fallen so far behind.
Yeah.
You're taking away the future of the country. And you've ruined these children's future. And who knows what's happened with their minds.
Yep.
You know, they snap every now and then. They go out and kill 10 people.
I was in
Terrible.
Barnes & Noble the other day, and the political books within the children's section,
Yeah.
I left. I just went. I left. I was like, what is that doing in here? Like, don't try to put kids involved in like your politics. It's just, I don't know.
But it's part of an agenda, and we've talked about that before. And
We've talked about
it's
it.
part of the agenda. It's part of what you see. It's part of the reason why people see everything happening. They feel helpless, but they can go to the bank and they can take out all their money and they can buy gold and silver. That's cause and effect, and that's what's happening.
Yeah, man.
That's, people are just fearful, and that's what they're doing.
Political messages and stuff on coins and political aspects about coins. Let's talk about ancient times. And I think you've mentioned this before. You'd have a political figure that would be on the front of the coin. And then what would happen when somebody came in and...
the Romans were famous for that.
What would happen?
When he's a new Caesar, he would gather up all the coins of his predecessor, and they would throw it all in a big pot and melt it. They were all egomaniacs.
And they wanted their face on there.
Oh, absolutely. They didn't want to see the guy that they just assassinated, or they helped kill his son before him, or whatever it may be. There was a lot of that intrigue and murder in those days. And that happened in many cultures and countries, in history. But the Romans were famous for it. They would gather up all the coins they could find, and they would melt everything.
Yeah.
And that's why you'll see some of the silver coins, the purity would start out at, say, 90%. And then if you get a couple of emperors down, if he doesn't put enough pure silver in the pot anymore, it was, well, we need this much coins. Grab me those horseshoes, that knife, that blade. They threw everything in the pot, melted it together, and started punching out more coins. And, that's why you get a lot of it where you see laminations and separations. And it not quite as silver as it should look. Yeah. Even though my ancient Athenian ones look pretty good.
They do look great.
Silver.
They look
didn't
special.
get a chance to,
Didn't hit the pot yet?
Yeah, well, they still assassinating back then. It was dangerous to be the son of a king.
I bet.
It definitely was dangerous to be a son of a king.
I noticed your setup here is a little different. You got it kind of like propped up.
Make it easy for people to see when they come in.
Move this.
I've gotten a lot of positive on it.
I put it on the floor. I don't want to trip on it, though.
We had it here originally, and then we dropped it down after we got shoplifted, where somebody reached over and was able to slide this. But now we've pretty much taken care of that, so it doesn't happen.
You got shoplifted?
Yeah.
I'm sorry that people are jerks and scumbags, guy.
Yeah. He's still in jail for all I know.
Hey, good. Good. He gets what he deserves, right?
He picked the wrong place because I got, what does that say up there?
What does that say?
Smile, you're on camera.
You are on camera here.
So, he was in handcuffs by the end of the day
Fantastic.
because he talked too much, so we knew where to look.
I like to hear that.
Well,
The bad guys should be right there, huh?
yep.
In the bad places. Well, it looks good. I like how you have it propped up. You see it better, I think.
Yep, and I utilized that little space. I've already sold a bunch of stuff stuff that was sitting across the room that had been sitting there for years. I've actually started moving stuff.
That's cool. I like it. I like the new setup. I feel like before I was kind of like I had to get like here and like look way down inside. Now I can kind of like at a glance from here hit it kind of a little bit better.
And we're ever changing it, putting new stuff in. I picked up 4 of these the other day. Sold 2 right away. The next person in the room bought 2 of them.
Big horse blankets, huh?
Yeah, the Black Eagles. And
beautiful.
my mother left me these. I said, keep looking. See if you get the ones with the Indians on it.
You want to break
or
one
the
out?
bisons. The Indians or the bisons, I said, would be a lot better.
Let's show the people.
Particularly the bisons.
How much different?
Bisons in this grade would still be about $600 a piece.
Wow.
Yeah.
I kind of
Bisons are big money.
want those Black Eagles for $59. I think you got them priced really fair there. These are cool. I don't know if I have one of these yet.
You have a Black Eagle?
I don't think so.
The 1899 series between the Black Eagle, the Indian Chief, and the Bison were just such, we've talked about it before, they were such beautiful works of art.
I got the
I
wood
mean, they
chopper.
were just pretty.
See, I could get one of these
Back
and
in
not break
those
the
days,
bank.
all the big bills had names. Now we just call it a 50 and a 10. There, they kept changing them.
Silver certificate. Bearer on demand. Payable. I like the artwork. I love how they look. I like how the presidents are the little figures, and the eagle, is massive. Is the headliner.
Yep.
That's cool stuff. I have to try to sneak in here before this video pops off because I know once the video goes, then I won't be able to see
They
those
don't
again.
usually last. I mean, they only just bought these a couple of days ago, and like I said, they won't. They're hard to keep in the store.
I brought some money with me on the way today, but I had to stop by the gas station, and well,
Yeah,
you can guess what happened.
I know what
You
that's
can
like.
guess what happened.
They're talking about gas going to. They think gas is going to hit $6.
My wife was telling me
$8.
something about she heard that it was going to double, and so yeah, that would be about $8.
Well, let me tell you, I remember being in England back in '91, and we were in London. We were on a tour, and you're stopping and you're looking at the gas station, and it was like $2.10 a liter, which is like $8 a gallon. It was 210 pounds, or whatever it was $2 a quart. It was about $8 a gallon back in 1991. I don't know what gas is there now. It might be the same for all I know. But they've been paying crazy prices there for at least 30 years.
Yeah.
And just incredible. Just incredible. And you see how it trickles down into everything.
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 Because
I
then you
mean,
get the
you
truck
watch
drivers and stuff, and they're paying more now. Everything that they.
And to all those people sitting on the side thinking you don't got to work, I want $25. I work at Target's paying $23. I can't add 3 columns, but I want $22 an hour. And I'm coming, but I still want $23 an hour because I've worked with hundreds and hundreds of people. I've fired it and hired a lot of people in my day. And there are some people that ain't even worth minimum wage. And there's going to be a day of reckoning for the employer coming. And they don't seem to realize it. Because when you look at what did Target lose this week? 25%, 30% of its market cap? They're going to translate that down into cutting positions or streamlining jobs.
Sure.
And you're going to start seeing real unemployment. Not that when people take credit for people going back to work after they left because of an illness and they went back to work. Those ain't new jobs. Those are jobs coming back. You're going to start seeing box stores closing. Between getting the places, transportation, getting products, I think you got a day of reckoning, I'm afraid, and I would just hold on to my job and be very careful.
Tell you what, guy, man, I can't take any more bad news. Hopefully, whoever's calling you is good news. Can we? What was the good news?
No.
More bad news.
More bad news.
Anything else going on in these cases over here? I feel like we don't give these cases enough attention on the show. Let's make a deal. Has that been
I had a guy in the other day bought this whole tray.
about the whole tray?
Bought the whole tray of silver dollars.
It's here now. Oh, you are kind of.
I
like
filled
sparse.
it in.
Yeah.
I picked stuff up I had at home, and I just spread it out. Person bought the whole tray of, I think I talked about this already. Bought the whole tray of seeded halves and the whole tray of barber.
Do you ever try to like hold some stuff back for events like that if somebody wants to buy like everything? Because you don't want to have like empty shelves.
Yeah, well, then I find more.
You just get more.
I just find. I used to have 2 trays of silver dollars. Now I have 1. I used to have 2 trays of walkers. Now I have 3. I can always find more product of some. Peace dollars, no. Morgan's, what you see is what you're going to get. Some have some.
So you're not holding things back.
No, some of the areas of collecting have been very hot. Morgan dollars are very hot. All the CCs are hot. I mean, you can't keep them in the store. Peace dollars, Franklin's. People have discovered coin collecting again. And if you look in Gray Sheet, everything has got arrows heading up. Pennies have always been popular because it's the everyday man can afford to buy pennies.
People have discovered coin collecting. You know, I mean, not to toot your horn, but I think that you've helped with that.
I like to believe that.
A lot of your videos get a lot of views, and it helps people.
I'm going to be doing a Zoom call on Tuesday. I have a history teacher who called me there. I got to line it up. We're doing a Zoom. I'm doing a Zoom conference call. I may not be using the right terminology, but I'm going to be teaching a class, 11th grade history honors class. Honors. I think that's pretty cool.
It is cool.
I like the honors kids because they're usually a little bit smarter than the average bear.
What are you going to teach?
I'm going to do my usual routine. I gave me a whole list of stuff.
You going to give them a test?
No, I'm not going to give them a test.
No test. That's my favorite teachers when they never did tests.
And I got all the kids here and their names and what they're asking. No names.
Okay.
Do you wish more people got into collecting? What is your favorite foreign coin? I'm going to answer as many as I can. What's your oldest and rarest coin? Things like that. And in my career, how did I begin this? What's my oldest and newest as compared to my oldest and rarest? Some of them compete. Some of them are just multipliers. The same question, but said in a different way.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about that. I'm going to hit on ancient coins, and I'm going to talk about civilizations and the history of gold and silver throughout history and the world. How it's a form of wealth, a form of trade, and I'll let the kids ask me questions, and see if they want to pick a fight with me.
No, we don't want to fight kids. Kids are big these days, man. You can't
He's
mess
a
around with kids.
16-year-old,
Yeah,
so
they're big.
I'm going to be pretty honest with him in my opinions because, look, they're going to be seniors now. They're going to be out there in the world. I had a great, as I said before, I had a great teacher in my senior year, Mr. Marshak, government and economics, and he said crazy things. He told us in the beginning of the year, we'll talk about anything here, because you're going out into the world. And he said, gold is going to go to $100 an ounce. What are you, crazy? But he thought he was nuts. He said, look out for China. He told us that 50 years ago. I graduated high school 50 years ago this June. And I remember him telling us that in this country, we look at the fall fashions, in the spring. They look 20 and 30 years down the road. They've already got the plans for the year 2080 and 2060. They know where they want to be. He was a great teacher. And, that's where you have to look at things.
And so when he said gold is going to 100, what was it at the time?
It was the standard price. You weren't even allowed to own real gold because you weren't allowed to own it until 74 or 73, late in 72. It was $35. $35 and change.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I see people who dealt or bought gold because their husbands or family members had gold, or were in Europe where they picked up gold. I see people who come in with, with a Cougaran that says $42 on the back.
Because that's what they paid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or they'll come back with, 100 Corona coin that says $42.
Jeez.
I've seen where they'll come in with like a 4 Corona, which is a coin that weighs 44% of an ounce, and it'll say $18. That's the big pirate money looking, beautiful coin. But they're bringing them in from Europe. And they got them in, or, they worked there, wherever they may have done. And I've seen prices like that in the back of coins.
Wild, huh?
And then I tell the people, I can give you twice this price.
That's why I like keeping the stickers on the coins, because you see where they've been a little bit. You see some of the history and prices. Yeah, man, that's cool. Real quick, before I let you go, Guy, you had some smaller gold over here. And is this like a better thing to get, like these smaller pieces, or just is it an option, these 10th ounce?
The 10th ounce, the quarter ounce, especially U.S., is going to have very high premiums.
Because the premiums, yeah.
Yeah, premiums are going to be, you're paying $40 over melt in many cases for them. On the whole, you're looking at 30% over melt, but the point is they're in such demand. I mean, I pay more than gold for them. So you're going to pay a premium to get them because there's so much demand for them. The collection I bought today had 14 of them. I got a whole bag on the side of them.
So you pay a premium for the 10th ounce?
Yeah.
Just because they sell so easily?
Because they sell so easily.
Well, people can come in with $250, and maybe not everybody has $2,000 for the 1 ounce.
Or even $1,800, or even $1,000 for a half ounce.
Yeah.
But you can find $240. As long as you don't go shopping that week. You don't shopping, or you don't have to fill your car with
you
gas.
don't buy gas.
You'll have the money. But there are people who have money. And you get the people who they've sat on the sidelines, but now Aunt Pitty Pat passed away, or Uncle Bob passed, or a grandparent passed, and they earmark this because they just see paper being worth less and less. And I've always said to people, don't bet the house on this. Just spend what you think is reasonable. It's just another form of investment or to be diversified, and that's important.
On silver and gold.
Yeah, on silver and gold. If you want to put $10,000 in, or $15,000, or $4,000, whatever you're comfortable, just have some. I really believe everybody should have it. I just think you should.
But like everything else, just like you said, don't put all your eggs into one basket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the cost of eggs now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I get my eggs for free.
Okay. The brown ones?
I get chickens.
Okay. I've had those eggs. I got friends of mine who have them. Eggs are eggs to me. I don't care if they're brown or partially green or
they
white.
They don't matter, do they? It doesn't make them taste different.
I can taste the difference.
You think so?
I do. I think I do. Maybe it's my professional cook's palate for
I believe
decades.
I believe it.
But I can taste a little different.
Some people think I'm crazy for tasting the difference in water. I can totally taste the difference
water,
in water.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, you go to these restaurants, and a lot of times I'll drink with water, but then you get water you can't drink.
It's disgusting.
You're doing that on purpose because you want to charge me $11 for a Coke?
Right.
I mean...
You can almost tell when the water's been filtered, purified, whatever the case may be.
This absolutely sounds like they pulled it out of the sewer.
Yeah.
I mean, it smells.
Yeah. Oh, my brother, he had iron in his water. And the smell to that and the taste to it was like slimy. It was, oh, man, it's terrible. Terrible.
Unfortunately, that's the world we're in now.
I was going to leave you at that, Guy, but can I also see these Morgans right here? If you don't mind. And this one right here, too, actually. Now, that's an interesting one right there that I just pointed out.
This I got yesterday.
So, cleaned, which lowers the price of a Morgan usually, right? But it's still very expensive.
This coin's about $1,300 if it had no problems.
Wow. Maybe that's good news for you right there.
And it's a 95.
Yeah, you can definitely see the fine hairline scratches on it, can't you? That's a key?
It's a 95S. It's one of the better dates.
Yeah.
And when it gets in these high grades, it's big money. I think it's reasonably priced. It fills a hole, and it's a beautiful coin, and there's tremendous detail there.
Yeah. Still cool. What do we got here? That's a pretty one.
Yeah, it's a high grade.
66 for $299. Guy, I better be coming back before the video. This is really nice. That is a spectacular coin.
Spectacular.
I would buy that no problem. Let me see what this one is.
That's a nice CC.
And a 65.
And CCs are on fire.
On fire.
You know, the CCs are just on fire.
Anybody who's new to coin collecting, if you have a collection from somebody who passed on or whatever, and they just passed you their collection, look at the coins and see if they have any CCs, because you know instantly that you have extra value right there. It's almost, I mean, it's not even almost guaranteed, it's guaranteed. You got a special coin if you have a CC. That's pretty.
CCs do not stay in the store, whether in 65s or VGs. I just can't keep Carson Cities. And I knew that 20 years ago. There are people who don't collect Morgan dollars, but they collect Carson Cities.
Only.
They have that mystique about them, and they just sell themselves.
It's just different, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
definitely. But anyway.
Guy, I greatly appreciate it again. Another video.
Thank you.
I want to get to like 100 videos. Think we can do that?
I think we can. What are we at now? About 45?
I think we're working on that, 45 to 50, somewhere in that range.
Yeah, we'll keep doing the videos. God bless America. And let's hang in there. Let's see where the world goes. But stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless America. Greatest country in the world.
Amen. Thank you, Guy.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.